top robotics company in Japan this week. 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
What the fuck is this? It's that Will Smith movie, Robots Inc. all over again.
There's also the reptilian conspiracy, most famously brought to the public attention by the British conspiracy theorist David Icke. It's become one of the most infamous and popular conspiracy theories ever, sparking numerous parodies and commentaries in the media and TV shows. To put it simply, Icke believes that an interdimensional race of reptilian entities known as Archons have hijacked the Earth and are stopping humanity from realizing our true potential. He has argued that these Archons are the same beings mentioned in many Gnostic texts that have identified themselves as demons and rulers of the 7 planets in various traditions, mostly having the ultimate goal of preventing souls from leaving the material realm. He claims that because of this, they have gone by many names throughout history, including the Anunnaki from Sumerian myth and the Watchers and Nephilim from the Book of Enoch. He argues that human sacrifice to the gods in the ancient world was actually for the reptilians' benefit, especially the sacrifice of children, because he tells us that at the moment of death by sacrifice, a form of adrenaline surges through the body, accumulating at the base of the brain, and is apparently more potent in children, something that is today reminiscent of adrenochrome. Bringing it more into the modern day, he claims that a genetically modified human Archon hybrid race of shape-shifting reptilians, known as the Babylonian Brotherhood, or the Illuminati or Freemasons to us today, manipulate global events to keep humans in constant fear, so that the Archons can feed off of the negative energy that this creates. Now, he has also claimed that the members of this secret elite are descended from reptilians coming from the Draco constellation. He stated that the reptilians come not only from another planet, but also another dimension, the lower level of the 4th dimension, which he calls the astral plane, the one nearest to the... As of 2003, when his books originally brought this theory out, he said that the reptilian bloodlines include all American presidents, 3 British and 2 Canadian prime ministers, several Sumerian kings and Egyptian pharaohs, and a whole bunch of celebrities. Remember when that article went viral about how Justin Bieber supposedly turned into a giant reptile in front of everyone? Some of the most prominent bloodlines are said to include the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, various wealthy European families, and established families of the eastern United States, and the British royal family. In fact, he said in numerous interviews that he saw former British Prime Minister Ted Heath's eyes turn entirely jet black while the 2 men waited for a Sky News interview in 1989. Ultimately, the global elite make up the top of the pyramid for the reptilians in modern day.
The Great Red Spot on Jupiter, that's about 2 times as big as Earth. And Saturn is about 9 times wider than Earth. Saturn's rings are so large that a few of the fragments within them are as large as mountains.
But that's nothing compared to our sun.
Just remember, this is Earth. And this is Earth from the Moon. This is Earth from Mars. Here's Earth from just behind Saturn's rings. And here's Earth from just beyond Neptune.
4 billion miles away. But a billion's a big number, so let's put that in perspective.
1 million seconds equals about 11.5 days, whereas 1 billion seconds equals over 31 years.
Absolute proof that Mars has pyramids, and lots of other strange stuff, baby! In the books after the Martian apocalypse and ancient aliens on Mars, the pyramids of Mars are investigated. And you know what? They found other stuff too. Here's a Martian pyramid. Here's a Martian pyramid. Here's a Martian pyramid. Don't believe these books? Well, other people have figured it out too, baby. This award-winning news article has found all sorts of structures on Mars. Not to mention, NASA admits there's structures on Mars. Structures like another Sphinx, some type of structure, another type of structure, a dancing guy, a lizard, and a helmet. Why would you need a helmet on Mars unless there's somebody already there, baby? Here's another picture of that guy hanging out on a rock on Mars. Not to mention the human face on Mars, and that this could be Mars too. There's some real stinky stuff going on with Mars. You know it, baby.
If technology never existed, and a UFO came from outer space and landed on Earth in front of you, and somebody stepped out and told you they had technology to share with you, how would you let the generations after you know about these people? Would you carve it into a wall?
Tech Canada has developed a stealth material, quantum stealth. As long as you hide behind it, no one can see you. It is as thin as a piece of paper. It can bend. It is made of double convex lens. When the lenses overlap in a certain way, they can see the light refracted from various angles to form the light at angles. Objects of any color and shape can be invisible behind. It is not only invisible to people, it can escape the tracking of thermal and ultraviolet imagers, make it into a shield or camouflage wall to avoid the enemy's detection perfectly. What do you want to do with such powerful material?
The M87 galaxy lies 55 million light-years away in the constellation Virgo. The supermassive black hole at the center of it is a monster 6.5 billion times as massive as the Sun. On April 10th, 2019, the EHT team released the first-ever image of a black hole, thus revealing a bright ring-like structure with a dark central region, the black hole's shadow.
I used to think we were living in a simulation. Then I talked to some colleagues, did some more reading, and now I feel a little better that we're probably not. The argument for it was you get a real universe, and then people in there get really smart, and they program computers, and they create worlds. And the people in that world don't know that they're fake. All right? And then they evolve, and they develop computers, and they create a world, and they create a world. And this goes all the way down. And so there's the real world and all the worlds that can create worlds, except the last one, which is still working on it. Eventually they'll get there. All right, throw a dart. Chances are you're going to hit a world that's simulated. That's us. But we don't know how to make an actual simulated world where everybody thinks it's real. So either we're the last of those worlds that's still working on it, or we're the first one, which is actually real. I'm good.
No one knows who built Borobudur. You walk up and you get to the top, and there's these small Buddhas sitting in these small stupas that look like flying saucers. And there are also keystone cuts. They're an unusual way of holding blocks of stone together. Temples in Egypt also have these keystone cuts. A historical schism that's really going on here. And it has to do with the keystone cuts, but also other things too, such as cranial deformation. Like keystone cuts, is something that occurs in very diverse places all over the world. So why is it that the mainstream archaeologists and historians don't want to talk about cranial deformation? Well, here's why. Then you would have to somehow relate all of these cone heads with their elongated skulls from all of these places from around the world, and you would have to relate them to each other. And that is what mainstream historians do not want to do.
And in a moment, we'll see something suddenly appear, almost literally out of nowhere. If we look at this event more closely, it leaves a trail or a wake behind it, and it happens very quickly. It's very unusual. In this particular map, we see Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and I will now overlay one of the frames of the video. See the object appearing and moving left to right. In 1/2 second, this object moves 340 miles, which is a speed of 680 miles per second. This object moves as fast as a bolt of lightning. There are no thunderstorms in the area. It is unlike any natural phenomenon that's known. And this object has never been mentioned by NASA or any...
Okay, Zoe, favorite.
What is your favorite thing about space?
Go in there. Go in there.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.